What's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How y'all doing? This is JH. Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Everybody clean? Are you crisp? Are you feeling, yeah, a little bit irie today? Let's talk. Let's talk. I have Mr. Mike Caref with me. Who's in the house? Let me see if anybody decided to join us on this Friday evening while wrestling is going on. Let me see if we can reduce this. You know, I'm pretty horrible when it comes down to this technology. All right. Let me go through my hellos before we jump in here. Fit over 50, how you doing? Antonio, what's going on? Steven, he says we're being played by the NALC. And this TA is definitely going to be rigged. Oh boy, it's not a good feeling there. It's not a good feeling. Anna, how you doing? Well, we had a strong video yesterday, and Mike Caref decided he wanted to reach out to me and told me that he was going to be the change we needed to see. So I said, well, I don't want to talk about it. We got to be about it. So what's going on? And we're going to talk a couple things about Mr. Caref. Then we're going to jump into the nitty gritty. 2025, we're going to be a little more gritty this year, but you from Chi-Town, so you should be able to handle the grittiness. Yes?
The grittier the better, baby.
Ooh, oof, I like that. The grittier, the better. So, let me give you a little backstory. Uh, I know you kind of glimpsed at the video. I only made the video because I spoke to my mail carrier and I'm real cool with her. And when I spoke to her, she told me the reason that she actually voted to keep Mr. Renfro in was because she was afraid that the tentative agreement would take longer. And, she said she voted no on the agreement, but she did vote to keep him in. So that kind of, lit a fire underneath me. And I said, you know what? Maybe that's the reason that everybody else decided to keep him in. They were afraid that they wouldn't have anybody there to negotiate for them. So that's kind of where my wild video started. And, it almost sounds like I bash unions, but I don't bash the union. I bash the people that are in the union that are complacent. I always said that complacency is the enemy of progress. So before we jump into the questions and me drilling you, I know that you have there's a few people on here right now, and you have a birthday coming up. Yes, sir?
Unfortunately, yes.
All right, all right. So
Yeah,
from what I
I'll be
understand,
50. I'll be right 50 years old on February the 2nd of this year.
February the 2nd, you're about to be 50. That's beautiful.
50. 50.
50. All
2 weeks
right.
from Sunday. 2 weeks from this Sunday.
2 weeks from Sunday. So Postal family, listen, before we get into drilling Mr. Mike in the most respectful manner, Mr. Mike has you want to tell him what you got going on?
Sure. So 2 weeks from Sunday, February 2nd, we're doing like a birthday celebration / roast. And we're going to live stream. It'll be live and in person if you want to come out, or you can see it on the live stream. I'm meeting with a woman who's setting up the live stream on Monday on the holiday, because I want it to be I want it to be like you're there, but the live stream is only $20.26. It's a campaign fundraiser for the 2026 election campaign. So hopefully people can get on at least the live stream. And then those of you in the Chicago area, we're selling those tickets for a little bit more. But like I said, it's a fundraiser. There'll be food, there'll be drink, there'll be music. It's going to be a good time. But they're lining up to roast me, man. Like really lining up. And
Okay, so this
it's no holds barred. I told them that whatever they want to say, nothing is off limits. Um, if you love someone a lot, you have a lot to say about that person. So there's a lot of love here in Chicago, and I've been a carrier for a lot of years. My kids are going to come out, different people in my life, and hopefully it'll be great. It'll be a great roast.
okay. So with that being said, you're saying that your roast is gonna be online on a live stream, correct?
Yep. So
All
you
right.
you go you go to the website careforprez.org, CAREF for prez.org, and then it'll play. It's the first thing on the page pop up, or you can go to the 50th birthday roast, and you could get it. Just sign up to get a ticket, and then they'll send you the link for the live stream. So
Okay. So one of my people are gonna pin this comment for me, careforprez.org. Now, before the people that are watching decide to spend their hard-earned $20, which is less than that 1.3% that they made on their offering, um, you got to earn that little $20. Now, me personally, I want to see you win. Kimberly and Jupiter, you better keep. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut it off. I know where you're located there, Kimberly. You better make sure you got your seatbelt on. I swang past Jupiter a couple weeks ago. So here's the thing. When the people are gonna support you, obviously they want to know that you're gonna fight for them. The first thing that I like about what you're doing right now is the fact that you're being transparent. You're not hiding behind anything. So me personally, I like that. Um, and the fact that you're putting your information out there, I like that. My real first question will be, we didn't get to it yet, is whether or not you are going to hide. Are you going to shut your comments off? Are you going to turn the Twitter off? Are you going to turn your YouTube comments on if these people decide to put you in office? That's going to be my first question. We'll get there in a second. I'll let you think about it. Unfortunately, we not as smooth as last time. I got to be brash with it. But you Chi-Town. So we going to make it happen, brother. We going to
okay.
make it happen. So, Postal family, I want y'all to, lock that information in. Caref4prez.org. I got somebody that's gonna pin it to the comments. I think Shy did. Y'all store that. If you like and you want to hear what this man has to say, then please support him. Um, Obviously, if he's out there and he's letting everybody roast him, he's seeing a vulnerable side of himself. I respect that, me personally, but I'm not a carrier. Y'all already know that. So store that in the back of your head, and then we're gonna get into this. And after we talk to him, y'all tell me whether or not you want to support the man. Anybody better than
That's
Renfro? Y'all
fair.
ain't hear me say that. All right, all right, big dog. So listen, um,
Did you see the promotional video, Jay?
yes, I was going to repost it for you. Actually, I reposted it for you, but I was gonna put it in my next video until you said let's chat live. So I think live is better because it's one thing for me to say, hey, support this man. Now you got to earn it. You might be
Yep.
the president. These might be your constituents. I don't know if that goes together, but these might be the people that put you in office. So, um, like I said, yesterday I was going in, and my main thing is transparency. Everybody's main thing is transparency. They want to know if we gonna swim or we gonna sink. Honesty is the best policy. Let people make educated decisions in their life. And if it's a shit show, just say, hey, look, it's a shit show. It's out of my control. I think people will respect that more than silence. You get where I'm coming from?
Well, I want to kind of take this to the next thought process. All unions, especially our union, your union, APWU, it's a fraternal organization. So in society, you have a democracy, and we operate as a democracy as well, meaning that we vote on stuff and that's how we make decisions. But in addition to being a democracy or operating in a democratic way, we're a fraternal organization. And that means that we all have the same interests. So in that type of setting, I don't have to look out for self-interest because my interest is the same as everybody else that's at that table or in that discussion. So the more information, the more transparent I am, the better result we're going to be, because it never harms me to provide information. It only helps. If I'm a decision maker, if I'm a leader in the organization, I want to make sure everybody has all the information, including things where, possibly they would want to criticize me about. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to say what it is. And if someone wants to say, Mike, that's completely wrong, we shouldn't be doing that, that's fair. And I'm going to listen to that. I may not change my mind. I don't know. But, we're going to work together and collaborate. And that starts with everything being on the table because we're a fraternal organization. We all have the same interests. So, that's just a firm belief that I have. And I think that's something that I've brought to the table in my leadership style here in Illinois, within my branch in Chicago and within the region in the state of Illinois. And that's something I want to bring to the NELC. We act like we're in different unions or something. It's silly to me.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that. That has to so the fact that you're speaking about that, obviously, my video yesterday, it kind of piggyback off of it, but our main thing is and I don't really like to speak for them, but I have the platform. But our main thing is transparency amongst everything. So transparency is crucial for building trust, obviously, within any organization. And being that you are a, don't say it, you're the, what the hell are you?
The business
What is
agent.
your,
The
that's
business
right, the
agent.
business agent. Okay, the business agent. Um, can you provide specific examples how you implemented transparency as in your specific, what is it, region 3?
Yeah,
You
Region
said you're a
Three.
region
Region Three
3.
it consists of the state of Illinois, all the letter carriers in the state of Illinois, all the branches in Illinois. Um, Look, we have a meeting every Thursday, 5 p.m. It's specifically for the branch presidents and the leadership in the region, but it's open to anybody. We don't hide nothing from anybody. Obviously, the door is open. You know what I mean? You can come in at any time. I am probably too accessible to the members of the union. I go to the orientations with the new carriers. I give them my card and I tell them one very simple thing: this is a fraternal organization. If you got a problem, I got a problem. We all have a problem. Don't be shy. Reach out, let us know what the issue is. We're going to try to help. You have union stewards, you have branch officers, you have people on the workroom floor that can help you out. If they can't help you, or if you just need to check on something or whatever, the buck stops with me. Give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. I tell them, hey, if you call me, I might have to call you back if I'm busy doing something, but I will always call you back. I'll always be accessible to the members, because I want to know what's going on and make sure that we're handling that. So that's the way I've always operated. And people talk within the post office. Ask around. Believe me, I'm not just telling you this because I'm running for president. I'm that's just the way I've always been, man. And you asked
Well,
in the beginning, would I shut down any of my accounts? There's at least three of us that I know, well, four of us I know that have said that we're interested in running for president of the NELC. I'm the only one that's like, out there and accessible. I'm Facebook. I don't block nobody. I don't, you say what you got to say. And people have taken some shots at me. And that's, that comes with it, man. I'm not mad at nobody. You take a shot at me. If it's funny, I'm going to laugh with you. If it has some relevancy, I'm going to take it to heart. If I disagree with you, I'll say, hey, I don't agree with that, and we'll have a heart to heart conversation. But I'm going to be accessible to the membership of the union because I work for you guys, and that's the way I've always been. And I understand the whole point about transparency is to make us stronger. And I'm not trying to do nothing to weaken the power and what we can accomplish as a collective, as a union.
I respect that. I respect. You said almost exactly what I wanted to hear, but is it realistic? So when you just said that you're overly accessible, I like that. Obviously, when you're in the spotlight, people gonna need you. Because right now, people are failing, people are hurting. They're gonna need you. They're gonna want to reach out to you. And I mean, it's crazy you saying this. I don't know how much of that long video you watched yesterday, if any, but I was specifically talking about a lot of those things. Um, how do you plan to ensure that all the members are fully informed and involved in the upcoming decision making process, that you're not unilaterally saying, hey, the buck stops here, I make all the decisions, I'm the ruler, I'm the king, yeah, 1.6 is what we're going to shoot for and that's it, I don't want to hear what the hell you got to say, Facebook shut off, uh, Twitter, whatever it is, shut down. Because right now, I like the fact that you said you're the only person that has all of your social media accounts open, and that's running for president. That that's a plus. That's a plus for me. But again, I can't vote for you. You got to convince
Yeah.
these people why.
So,
Talk to me.
man, you have within any organization, and certainly ours, the NELC, there's different structures in place. And what I found is when people feel comfortable and they feel confident in the leadership and the structure that they have, they don't go outside of that structure. So, example, if you have an excellent union steward in your facility and that union steward is handling business, communicating with you, you have no reason to call somebody else, right? Same thing with your branch president or whatever, within any of the structure of the union. So if somebody is reaching outside of that structure and they're contacting me directly,
Mhm.
that indicates I need to have a conversation with that person to find out what's going on. And a lot of times, you can refer that person, they just don't know where to go for help or something like that. Or sometimes they just want to make sure that their voice is heard and that their opinion, if they feel strongly about something or they see something or they feel something that they're not sure everyone else is feeling, that's going to be part of the conversation. And that's important, so I don't feel like I'm, like I always tell people, you're not bothering me. You're not, I can't stand when people they'll and I don't know. I guess it just comes with the territory, but they'll say, we got to waste a half a minute or a minute in the conversation for them to tell me how they don't want to be bothering me and they know I'm a busy person. And I'm like, just get to the damn point, I'm here to help you. I want to hear what you got to say, But then I think the other thing is the structure you set up. And I'm a big believer in collaboration. And collaboration means that we all sit down at the table and we share information and we work together to come up with a solution. We work together to figure out what's the best direction and where we want to go. And when you operate like that, I think you end up making better decisions. But I also, people feel better about that decision making process. That it's not a decision made without them, but it's a decision made including them. And even if they might not agree with the final, the final outcome, it's like, look, you may get to a consensus or you may get to the point where, okay, everyone's had their say, we've all talked about this, we're going to have to go forward either in this direction or that direction, so let's do this, then let's come back in 30 days, let's come back in a month, I mean a couple months or whatever, and let's evaluate how it's going, and that kind of thing. So that's always been my approach to any group that I've been in or any leadership role that I've had is, transparency and collaboration. And those two things together, and then work to put your best foot forward as a group, as a union, as a team, as a whatever entity it is. So
Okay, you saying all the right stuff. I love it.
man,
Saying
I've
all the
been
right
doing this for a
stuff.
lot of years, man, and it's it's hard to I always try to get people, talk to the people in Illinois because I think that you'll get a better flavor. And that's why we're trying to do things, be accessible, like this roast. You're gonna hear all type of shit at the roast, and that's okay. But you'll get a flavor for the type of person I am and the type of president I would be. And then you make your choice from there. I'm not telling you how to vote. We're not scripting nothing. If you go look at the promotional video that we did for the roast, we just started talking, man. It's like, let's see how this thing turns out. And that's how we're gonna do it. You and I are not scripted. Let's
Right.
just go. The members get to see everything, and they're gonna like some things and not like some things, and that's okay, man. But every member of the union should feel part of the process and feel like they're important in the union, because they are. You know, the union is everybody plus them. So that individual is an important part of that. It would be a different entity without them. Every single person is important in our union, man. I believe that.
A lot of the union members feel left out. They feel like their voice isn't heard. Um, I coined this little fake phrase of voice of the voiceless for all of the postal employees, from top to bottom, just to try to, expose some things, speak on some things. And here we are, talking to you, and you just said, all the goodies and being accessible and everybody counts. But there's going to be a point, if you're voted in, that you're going to be sitting in a different location. You're going to be under a different stress. You're going to have different pressures. Sitting up top is different than sitting in Chicago. We all say, you all cool, we all cool as carriers, but once you hit that 204B range, you one of them. The question is, once you finally get up to the top, because I mean, you got a strong position now, but when you get into that position where you're sitting where Renfro sits now, does that change Mike Caref? Do you change? I know your obligations are different, and I mean, that's something that a lot of people don't see, but they like, oh, that was my dog, Mike. Now he got up there, he forgot about us. Is how's that
Yeah, I
gonna play
mean,
out?
it hasn't happened yet, so I'm gonna guess it wouldn't happen. I mean, I can't predict the future, but I'll tell you this, man. I'm not a politician. I'm a letter carrier. I'm a mailman. So I'm not going to, and I don't have a self interest in this thing. If I lose the election and I go back to my route, and I'm just a letter carrier, or not just a letter carrier, but I'm a letter carrier, part of the union like everybody else. I'm good with that. And if I get into the position as a president and I don't feel like I can do the job, I'll be the first one to say, you know what, you guys deserve a person who can do this, and they can be committed to you guys, if that were to be the case. Or if the members say, hey, we don't like the way you're leading this thing. Hey, I'm
Hmm.
gonna get out your way, because the organization belongs to the members of the union. It's not mine. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to facilitate the needs and the wants and desires of the members of the union. And if I can't do that effectively, and I can't do that, being the same person that I am, that same letter carrier that you've known, then I'm not going to do it no more. That's just the way I look at it. But it hasn't happened yet. When I ran for union steward in my office, and then I was the vice president in my branch, and then I became the business agent, and I'm just, I'm still the same person. And I go back and carry mail at least once a year for a week. I don't know if you knew that, but I go put on a uniform, go back, carry my Route 16 and 22nd Street in Chicago. That's my route. I go back and carry it just to make sure I know the lay of the land, just so I could, feel and touch my coworkers and get the vibe of what's going on in the post office. Even though, obviously I've been around for a lot of years, but I'm not going to, I like to say I can't predict the future, but I don't plan on losing my connection to the letter carriers and the workforce. And I work for you guys 100%.
Okay. So, obviously once you get up there, um, you got a lot of people that you're gonna be surrounded with that may not have the same interests as you. Vice president,
Yeah.
your cabinet. Um,
But that's
does
why I go
that
back to, I'm
influence?
not to cut you off, I'll let you get your question in, but I mean, it's your show, brother.
No, go
But
ahead, go ahead.
it's a fraternal organization. So I understand there is that always that aspect, someone has a different perspective, right? Someone doesn't have the same agenda that you have. And I get that, but we're a fraternal organization. And I take everyone for who they are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their perspectives are. And what I'm good at, I think, is learning how to work together with those people. And the way you do that is by underlining the fact that we are a fraternal organization. We all want what's best for the members of the union. I don't believe that there's a lot of people that put themselves out there for union positions, whether it be the union steward, the union president. You see that once in a while, but for the most part, people that put themselves out there for union positions do it for the right reasons. They want to help. They want to be in a position to do good things for the members of the union. And as long as I'm working with those people, if we got a different perspective or a different way of doing things, that does not going to bother me, not at all. Now, if you in it for yourself or, you're a different kind of person, then we're going to have a problem. But, that's why we have elections. But hopefully the members of the union will take care of that if at the next election, if a person is that type of person. But you don't run into that many. Honestly, you just don't. You do have some, but
Well,
just not that many.
let me jump in there. So in there's certain areas in this country that have very strong unions. They fight differently than other areas. Um, so I'm from New York. I'm not in New York anymore. I refuse to say where I'm from, even though people know where I'm from here. But so you got New York, you got Chicago, you got certain parts of Texas, you got certain areas where people have the union mindset and the concept of I'm a strong bulldog, I'm a fight. But then unfortunately, too many times we have a lot of people that say, I don't know who my shop steward is. I don't know where my shop steward is. My shop steward's in bed with management. My shop steward sucks. My shop steward only fights for this, but not that. That floats all the way around. When I came to the area that I'm in, I'm like, what is this? This is a joke. Um, and then there's people that actually move from New York, come to my area, and they have their bulldog mentality, and they change the show up. They look at the book and they say, this is the contract. We're gonna make this happen. They're a little more aggressive, and they make sure they try to balance it out. It's never us against management. It's just about, hey, this is what we negotiated. This is how we got to work things together, and we're gonna be safe doing it. Um, so I know where you're saying that, the people are in there, the majority of them, you feel as if they're not self-serving, but there are a lot of them that are. I'm just putting it out there. I mean, Chicago's one thing, New York's another. There's certain parts of Philly that, have some more of those brick areas, LA, uh, strong areas. But then, what happens to the people in the middle of the country, the rest of the country?
Well, I mean, when it comes to contract enforcement, right, the National Association of Letter Carriers is the sole representative of all letter carriers. So the National Association of Letter Carriers has the right to certify union stewards, appoint union stewards to make sure that whatever issue that member of the union is having is getting addressed. And I'm not going to be the type to be shy about it. If we're having an issue in post office X, I call the union rep in post office X, or not, it don't have to be me, but we call out to the person in post office X and we say, how are you addressing this issue that this member of the union has? And if the answer is we're not, or there's some type of pushback on it, someone is going to be on the next thing smoking, going up in there to address the issue that member of the union has, and that's just the way that we're going to handle business. So, and that doesn't displace the person who is an elected representative of that union in that area, but we're still going to handle business, and it's up to the members to decide who they want representing them, and they can pick whoever they want, but the National Association of Letter Carriers is still going to handle business one way or another, either way.
I got a question for you then.
Yes, sir.
If you have you're running, you have what they call slate members, right?
I do not at the time, no.
Okay. If if you were truly transparent and you picked, I don't know, 15, 20 people, would you say, look, I'm running. I want to know who you guys believe I should run with. Would you allow your members to help pick your cabinet? I mean, that's pretty, out there. I've never heard of that done before, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's the most transparent voice of the people, allowing the voice to be heard. Would that be something that you would be willing to do? I don't know how it could be done, but
I'm in favor of the concept, and ironically enough, the group, known as the Concerned Letter Carriers, I joined with them initially, and I thought we were going to be doing something like that. Like, let's figure out who we think, the different people should be. And they didn't have, and it's not easy to do. Like you said, how would you actually do that? Because at the end of the day, how do you know who the members want in a particular position? Well, that's why you have an election, and they vote for the person that they want in a. So how do you do like a pre-election and figure out in a way that's fair to everyone and in a way that's going to get you a good result? How do you do that ahead of an election to figure out just who you're going to propose for a particular position? Who am I going to nominate as the vice president or the director of safety or whatever? How do you develop a process to do that? So I thought that's what the Concerned Letter Carriers was going to try to do, and I was excited about that. But it turned
Mhm.
out that's not what they were trying to do, and and maybe it was just too hard, or there wasn't a way to do it. I don't know. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. Um, at this point, I'm not against that idea, but I'm also not against just making sure that there are quality people being nominated, and then let the members of the union pick who they want from the group of people that are qualified. If you have, and I don't know, like our election, very poor participation in the last election we had, the last national election in 2022 that we had, and the main reason was nobody was too excited about any of the candidates that were running. So right now, I'm more focused on making sure that there are quality people in all of the positions, and I would like to see the members pick who they want out of those quality people. But that's not the only way to do it. There may be a way to do something like you're saying. I had actually put together a couple proposals within the Concerned Letter Carriers. I said, let's try to do this. Kind of like how you have like a Democratic Party primary or
Mhm.
Republican Party primary.
Yes.
Let's figure out how to do something like that. Gather votes or whatever, and see who we're going to put forward as candidates. So that's not off the table. That is a possibility. I don't know exactly how we would do it, but I wouldn't be against that for sure.
I don't know how to do it, but I do know you have the largest amount of um, due paying members in the post office, and real transparency, because somebody's going to put your YouTube channel and your information in the chat. Yaya, please put his information in the chat and pin it. Would allow you, if you really want the members' opinion and you really want to be transparent, somebody to reach out to you, one of the younger people. You see how long it took us to figure this shit out. Um, um, let one of these younger people
I
that
had to go
have
get my son.
ideas. Yeah, my son's not here yet, but it took me forever. But when we start allowing everybody to be involved, they're gonna be like, well, damn, Mike's not trying to hide nothing. We wrote him an email, he responded. We commented on his YouTube channel, say, hey, you know what? We got a lot of smart people in the post office.
We do.
We just stuck in the zone. And
We
if you
do.
put it out there and say, hey, in one of your videos, look, I'm looking for somebody to be my social media person, it's volunteer work, but I need you to participate. The more open you are, the
Yeah.
more people will see you. You just said you don't shut your comments off. Allow the members to be part of this so that they don't feel left out. Because right now they have no clue, none. Right at this moment, they have no idea about those votes. They got 10 days left and they like, shit, I have no idea. Be that person that shows them, you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit different. Just a little bit different. And then once you finally show, hey, look, you know anybody that knows how to do social media? You know anybody that knows how to do this? Do you guys have any ideas? Damn. Now you stand in front of everybody else. You're different. I mean, it's just an idea,
No, no,
but
and we I already do have a whole campaign team, and not a. I don't mean to say that it's all taken care of. I'm saying we already have people, and we need more people. We need people to help out with fundraise. We need people to help out with all the different social media platforms. If they shut down TikTok, where are we going next? Or whatever's
right.
out there. But I'm gonna start. I'm doing a world tour. So I'm going around to different places. I was in LA last week. I'll be in Minneapolis next week. And there's a whole list. You go to the website, I'm going here, there. If there's other places that you guys want me to go to, just reach out and we'll go there too. But all of that involves different planning things. I mentioned, with the roast, we want to have live streams. So I'm going to hire somebody for that. I mean, I wish I knew someone who, this woman has a lot of equipment and she kind of knows
Mhm.
what she's doing. And I just want it to be professional for the members that are going to pay their $20.26. But hell, if there was someone that wanted to help out with that, great. We could definitely use you. I'm not going to turn nobody away. And there's a lot of different jobs and roles and things that people can help out with. And like you said, a lot of our people have a lot of skills, and you know carrying mail is not the only thing they know how to do.
Right. There definitely, I mean, there's enough people that are gonna watch this, and if anybody wants to reach out to Mike, um, you can go on carefforprez.org. Do they reach out to you on your email? Do you have an email they can reach you at as well,
Yeah,
or no?
so there's a Caref for Prez at Gmail that they can send emails to, and then on the YouTube page there's comments. Caref for Prez YouTube page. You make comments on the videos and stuff like that, and we see those. We respond to those. You can make comments. What is it under contact? At the website. You have the little bars and you hit contact, and you can
Hmm.
send a,
Hmm.
you can send a message through there. Obviously through Facebook, through everyone got my phone number, whatever. Yeah, it's not a problem reaching out. One of the things that I've been doing is, and not because there's so many people that reach out to me now from all over, is I do have a couple of people that help me out to make sure that we're not missing any of the comments that come in all the different platforms, because I can't be on all of those platforms at one time. So I'll
Right.
check this one, you check that one, and then it's like, hey, let me know if there's someone I need to respond to, someone I need to call, someone needs some help with something, or somebody wants to help us out with the campaign, that kind of thing. So I do have some people that are already working on the campaign because they think this a good, they think I'm doing a good thing here for the union, and they want to help. So if there's more people out there that want to help, we'd love to have you, definitely.
Okay. Um, so transparency tends to have transparency. Like me, I can say, look, man, I did this great, but I used to fuck up here. That means I've admitted my mistakes. I know when I've done wrong. The guy that's sitting up at the top disappeared instead of saying the damn thing. Transparency often admits uh, when you're wrong, when you're right, mistakes. Can you share any time um, when you or the union made a mistake and how you handled that? Not them, but how you were transparent about it without without sharing sensitive information, obviously.
Yeah, as I was thinking. We deal with hundreds, thousands of grievances, and I'd be lying to you if I told you every single one is 100% grand slam. You did everything right, you wrote all the right things, and that is not accurate. But we try to. I can't remember any major thing, man, about like dropping the ball on someone's grievance or something like that. I'd hate for something like that to happen. Um, I'll tell you one thing, and it's a little bit maybe outside of most people's kind of dealings with the union, but um, somehow I've gotten this bad reputation. I sit on the executive council of the NELC, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of people on that council with me who they have a negative view of me. They don't like the way, because I've tried to be open about the meetings. I think the executive council meetings shouldn't be secret. And, there's a fine line there. It's like, I don't go around saying, we had a meeting yesterday and Johnny said this and Samantha said this. But I do try to bring back information to the members. And in some of the ways I've been doing that over the past year, 2 years, I think some of my brothers and sisters, that I should have a good working relationship with, I don't. And I take responsibility for that. And it's something I'm working on, trying to figure out a way to, I mean,
Mm.
I just sent an email to the council just last week, and President Renfro was like, hey, we need to talk about this issue. The issue is the grievance backlog, and what are we doing about it? But just trying to figure out different ways of doing that, so I can get a better response, because I don't want nobody thinking that I'm coming at them in a way that is against them or something like that. It's just like, hey, we have these problems as a union, and how can we work together? But I take responsibility for that. If they take a different tact, if they feel differently about how I brought that forward, then I have to look at myself and say, well, maybe I didn't bring it forward in the right way, even though it wasn't my intention. But if that's what happened, if that's what the result was, if they took it that type of way, you know, then that's on me. So, but it's
Oh.
hard, man. It's always a struggle. Communication, I'll tell you, communication to me is the biggest thing that I struggle with. You give me a grievance and you put me in a room and let me work on it, and I take that grievance at every single step of the process, all the way to arbitration, and I feel real good about that outcome. But
Mhm.
the communication of what we're doing, why we're doing it, getting the input from everyone, making sure they're involved and they're participating, that's something that I struggle with, and I'm always looking for a better way to communicate. And people communicate differently now than they did in the past. So
Right.
it's just not that easy, and it's something that I do struggle with. I will tell you that.
Okay. Did you vote to keep Renfro in?
You mean at the convention? No.
Yeah.
No, at the convention. Well, we never got a chance to vote at the convention, but I made all my votes public. So the way the process worked is there was charges brought against President Renfro, and then after the charges were brought forward, there was an investigator
Mhm.
that did an investigation, gave us a report, and our first decision was: are these charges, as outlined in the investigator's report, are they substantial or not? Are they substantive? And that was our vote in the executive council. And I made it known that that was my vote. My vote was that, yeah, they were substantial. And I told the members that that's how I voted, because I represent them. So I said this is how I voted. And then the next time we voted, they had hearings. After the hearings within the executive council, we come back and we vote, and now we're voting guilty or not guilty. And there was 4 charges, and I voted guilty on all 4. But the vote of the majority was 3 of those were not guilty, and only 1 of those was guilty. And then the question was, what penalty or what consequence do you assess for that guilty vote? So I proposed he be removed from office. That was my proposal, but that didn't win. And what ended
Okay.
up winning was that whole thing. I don't know, it was, anyway, the penalty was that he couldn't drive for a year. And
Mm.
I think he did a
Other,
he did
right.
a video and some things like that. So anyway, that decision of the executive council to find him not guilty on 3 charges, and to find him guilty but a real, light slap on the wrist on the 4th one, those decisions were appealed to the body of the convention in Boston in 2024. And so then we had a vote on each one of those. And so my votes were transparent. And not just my votes, but I was going around and talking to people about why I felt the way I felt. Because I felt that I had a lot of involvement in the situation. I was privy to the discussion, the investigations, the hearings, and things
Right.
like that. And not everyone had that opportunity. So, I don't want to shirk my responsibilities. And, of course, it's just my opinion. And of course, you are entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your vote. But I'm not going to be shy about telling you how I feel and why I feel that way. So I was pretty strong in letting people know that I felt that he should be guilty and removed from office because I don't think he was operating in our best interest during that time frame. And I just, you can only have one president, and let's get the right one. This is the way I feel about
Okay.
it. No hard feelings to the
So
brother. Hey, and it's not like we were trying to punish him in any way. If he's not the president, he just goes back to being a letter carrier. It's like when the escalator doesn't
mm,
work, it's still stairs, baby. It
yeah.
still
Oh
gets the
yeah.
job done.
Exactly. Right. So you kind of have an uphill battle when it comes down to
You think?
the 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 concerned letter carriers. Obviously, this group that just magically came together, um, and obviously, I believe Corey Walton is part of that as well, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
he's actually going to be on your roast, isn't he?
Yeah. He
For
told me he
those
told me
new.
he's coming. I haven't he didn't send me the itinerary or nothing yet. But
Okay.
yeah, I
For
asked
the
him to come out, and he's like, hell yeah, I'll do that. And I said, cool, man. I actually just texted him yesterday. So yeah, he told me he's coming.
Okay. For those that are just joining us, um, Mike Caref is going to have a 50th birthday roast. Get to know the man. Get in the comments. Roast him if you choose to. Talk about that garbage Chicago pizza that tastes like cardboard. Whatever you want to do. I mean, I didn't say it. Um, but
It's
yeah,
not it's not
please.
a toast, it's a roast, baby.
No. Go out and support him. His information is in the video. Yaya is posted it. Shy is posted Shy Town. He figures a shy guy would shy till I die. I bet. Posting you back to back to back. Yeah, just go there, support, show some,
That's my
support
guy.
to
I think he's
somebody
in
that,
branch 4739, if I'm not mistaken. I think I know who
oh
that
shoot, just shouted you out, Shy. Woo.
is.
Now you know. So anybody that wants to know more about him, at least you get to see the man in a transparent, in a vulnerable state, in a fun state, not a straight faced, individual. And if you have a chance to change the culture, and this may be part of it, whether you choose to vote for him or not, it's time to start changing the culture and not be shallow. So his information's in there. Click on it. I mean, we only hit 50 one time in our life. Um, but after 50, I'm going to be 50 for a few years, just so you know. I'm going to be 50 again next year
Good
and
for
the
you,
year
brother.
after. And again and again and again. But I just had to plug that in there so people are aware that you are having this. What day is that?
February 2nd, 2 weeks from this Sunday.
Okay,
2 weeks from this
February
Sunday.
2nd. You have an uphill battle with the CLC. Obviously, they got a strong ticket. Um, it would behoove you to try to get a group together that obviously appeals to the members. And Corey Walton has kind of built his whole platform of being strong. I'm not gonna say he's anti-management because he's not. He is pro contract. Is there anything else you could talk about? That man is pro
And
contract.
he's pro letter carry. And, you know, you're not the first person. Some people will say, well, they have a slate, so I should have a slate too. And the problem I have with that is, one, we can't just do things just because we've always done them, or it seems like the right way to do things. But also, there are some people on the concerned letter carrier, and you mentioned Corey. So Corey's going to run for director of city delivery in 2026, and I'm going to vote for him, right? And
Okay.
I think he should be the director of city delivery. So how would I look, putting together, we got to take out this concerned letter carriers group. I don't
Uh,
feel that way. I don't feel that way at
right.
all. I think if if there's a good person that is running for that particular position. When we go to vote in 2026, we're not going to say, I vote for the concerned letter carriers. Let me check one box and all of these people get elected versus voting for the Caref team or whatever. I'm running for president of the union. There's other people running for different positions who I plan to vote for. Even people that might be in President Renfro's team right now. Some of them that I know, they're really good people and they do a really good job on behalf of the members, and I plan to vote for them. So how would I look as a hypocrite, putting someone up to run against that person when me myself is going to vote for them? So
Okay.
I don't know, man. We'll see how this thing plays out, but there's some good things and there's some bad things about the concerned letter carriers. There's a lot of good people there, but as far as the culture, now some of the things about the culture I don't like. That organization is not transparent to me. There is no like if you're going to form an organization, where is your like bylaws? Where is your the things that are important to you as an
Right.
organization? How do you pick your candidates? What is your selection process for saying this is going to be my candidate for this position or that position? To me, none of that is there, and it's not transparent to the members of the union. And I got a problem with that. I'm a member of the National Association of Letter Carriers. I don't need to join a subsection and subgroup of the National Association of Letter Carriers unless that group is going to be transparent and there's going to be a process within that group where everyone is going to be part of it. But the way they've set it up, at least as of now, I, I'm not in favor of it. I just don't think it's the right way to run a campaign or run an election for office.
Understood. I saw your little man helping you with your setup there a little while ago. Your son, right?
Yeah, Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go different with this, and I'm only gonna do this because my son asked me the question. And obviously, I have kids in the post office. Now, the ones that are in the post office, I can't change that. My son asked me, Dad, I'm gonna be a postal worker too, because his mother's a postal worker, his sister and his brothers are. And I had to sit there and think about it. I sit here and preach to my postal family, and I say, hey, this is a great place to come to. Let's stick this out. Now it's rough. Shit is getting tough. And my son said he want to be a letter carrier. And I'm like, damn, all the shit that they're going through right now, should my son, my blood, would I allow that? So my question to you, Mike, if your son came to you and he was of age and wanted to join the United States Postal Service,
I
and
got
you,
one of age. I got one son and two daughters of age. But yeah, go ahead.
anyone, and they
Yeah.
said, Dad, I want to join, I want to be a letter carrier, not in this state where you can protect me, but in another state, how would you feel about that?
I would have mixed feelings about that. I would feel pride, in a sense that one of my kids wants to continue. I love being a letter carrier, and the fact that one of my kids would want to be a letter carrier, that I would love that.
Mhm.
And I would love the fact that what it brings. It's going to bring uh, the pay and the benefits and the job security that we know it comes with it, right?
Stop
Um,
right there. Stop right there. Now, that's where I'm gonna let you finish. But right now, right now, the new generation that's coming in, they're not like your generation, my generation. 5 years in, they can't say, I've saved enough to put a down payment on a home.
that's where I was going
10 years
next.
in.
That's
Okay,
where I was
I'm
going
sorry.
next.
Okay,
Because
go
because
for it.
because
I
I think that
apologize.
no, I think that the time. So you say maybe the first couple years, you till you get to a certain point, but now it's probably about 10 years before you get to the point where you're solidly in the middle class. You're struggling like for the first 10 years of your employment. And you look at a young person, your kid or someone else's kid, you don't want to see them suffer. You don't want to see them go through that. It takes 30 years to pay off a mortgage. I don't got 10 years to give, you know. I got to try to get that house right away, not 10 years down the road. So that's the other side of the coin, is that the job is not what it used to be. And
Mm,
so I would have some of them other feelings about that. Like, you know, really, you don't think you want to do, you know, whatever, right? Like,
mhm,
there's and honestly, and this is something that is going to be a challenge, and this is something that scares me if I am elected president, how we're going to approach this, because and this is probably a whole other show, but the post office, where is it at? What's the future of the United States Postal Service? Are we on
mm,
solid ground? Are we on shaky ground? Are we falling off the cliff? You know, I'm not exactly sure, but I know we have some challenges, and I know it's not completely on solid ground. And I know that we're going to have to do some things differently if we want the United States Postal Service to be there for the next 200 years, like it's, been there for the last 200. So um, overall, I would tell my kid or yours, go for it, because we're in the fight, and no matter what you
mhm,
do, you got to get in the fight, right? Like, no
right.
situation is going to be perfect and ideal, but I'd have mixed emotions about it. How would you feel about it?
My little guy, I told him, "You're too smart for this right now."
Right.
My d my daughter graduated with a bachelor's in, psychology, but this worked for her. But she joined almost 6 years ago, so she was able to come over the
Right.
hump, you know what I mean? But now it's different. So much has changed in the last 5, 6 years, but there are people that are joining now. There's a lot of people that are watching us right now. And the people that are watching us right now, the younger people that are struggling right now, they want to know, is Mike Caref, he's living all right. He got a home. I want to be like that. I want to be like the people that we see coming into work that don't have to struggle. I don't want to be one of those that are stuck in the car because that's where I live. I
Right.
don't want to have to go to the union hall or take a shower. It's screwed up. I mean, I really didn't want to jump into the money aspect of it, but when I put these things out there, these are the things that people want to know. You don't have to give me the full answer right now,
Well,
but
I can give you the answer, man. We should not be making less than $30 an hour. And I know
boom.
that there's different cost of livings everywhere around the country. But if it's going to be a federal job, and so in our union, we had this debate at our last convention, and we've had this in a lot of our conventions, what they call an area wage. Do we want to propose to the Postal Service an area wage when we go into contract negotiations? And what that would do is, some people would make more and some people would make less. I think federal workers, work on area wages. And we voted it down. We said, no, no, a letter carrier is a letter carrier is a letter carrier from our point of view when we go to negotiate a contract. They're beautiful. Solidarity. Let's all stick together. But I told them, you know what that means? That means that when you go negotiate a contract, if a letter carrier is a letter carrier is a letter carrier, you better negotiate high enough pay for our brothers and sisters in Boston and San Francisco and the Florida
Mm.
Keys and Washington, D.C., for them to live a decent life, just like everybody across the country. So to me, the way the money is right now, we need a $30 an hour starting pay, dignity and respect on the job, this harassment. Nobody wants to go to a job. I mean, people throwing up in the parking lot, before they go punch in. That's just not cool. And the other thing I think is a big impediment right now is the scheduling. And I don't know how it is for the different crafts, but for a letter carrier craft, it's like, even if you're a regular letter carrier, you have no idea what the hell your schedule is going to be. And particularly for this new generation of workforce, that's unacceptable. People want to know when they have to work and when they're going to be off work. And, management can't plan and strategize and hire properly and retain employees. And it falls back on the workforce to have to be, I need you. They'll tell you at the last minute that they need you or that they don't need you, that kind of thing. And I think those are the three biggest things: the starting pay, the constant harassment, and the scheduling that we need to change right away. Those are the three things we need to go after. The two, oh, I don't know if there's more, but the amount of leave that we get, I think is awesome, is underrated. You know, when you're talking about 11 paid holidays, sick leave, 13 sick days a year, then you're talking about annual
Right.
leave. Annual leave gets up to 208 hours, you know, 5 days, 5 weeks in a day. That's like
Hmm.
European standards, man, plus the sick leave and the
Right.
holidays. And, you know, if one of the former presidents dies, you get another day. And, you know, so the leave program is good. I think the retirement program is excellent, you know, and some of the other benefits like, you know, free life insurance and things like that. And some of them Cadillac health plans that we're able to get our hands on, where you know you're not paying nothing out of cost or out of pocket. But you know it has to work for everybody. That's what I feel. When you're a union, you look out for everybody, and it has to work for everybody. And right now, it doesn't work for a large portion of the workforce. And I'll tell you something else, man. A lot of our people quit the job, right? And
Hmm.
so they're no longer members of the union. And people will say, well, they quit the job. Who cares what they think? Well, I care. You know, I think that their opinion, the fact that their opinion was so strong about the job that they walked away. And a lot of these are regular career, you know, letter carriers or employees, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and they're walking away after 5, 6 years. And you're like, if that's how they feel about it, then there's something wrong with what we're doing here. And even though they're
What
no
triggered it?
longer, you know, in, it's like we still have to look out for that concept and that mindset. There's something wrong. It's an indication that there's something wrong, in my opinion.
Okay. Like I said, you saying all the good stuff. Now, once you're in there, let's say 2026, you voted in, halfway through, half year in. What steps are you willing to take to improve transparency within the union? And how will you measure the success of these initiatives? Not just necessarily with you. It's great. I love hearing what you're talking about. But my shop steward, Jeff, that dude don't even show up to work. He's on sick leave 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My cousin, he works over at ABC station. His shop steward sleeping with the manager. What's you
Yeah.
see where I'm going with this, right? So it's
So
great that you're talking, but at the station level, these people are struggling. The people wondering, man, how come my shop steward didn't tell me about this? How come my shop steward didn't tell me about that?
so there's something real simple that we should be able to do from day one. And I had mentioned the fact that the grievance process. So the National Association of Letter Carriers is the sole representative of all city letter carriers. And what that means is that we have the authority to assign a union steward to deal with any issue in for any letter carrier in any part of the country, right? Um,
Nice. Okay.
the most simple thing we can do is we have an app, NELC app, right? There's gonna be a place on that app where you go in there and you say, I have an issue, I have a grievance. And
Oof.
then that will go to the NELC representative who will make sure that a grievance is being filed and that issue is being addressed. So that's a real simple thing that we can do from day one and we can implement and we can make sure that that information is coming into, you know, we have regional offices all over the country. So I would make sure that that information comes into the regional office, and then the people in the regional office make sure that that's being handled. And I know we can do that. Another thing, the decision-making process of the union. I don't think it should be a secret. I don't think contract negotiations should be a secret whatsoever, but I don't think the decision-making process should be a secret. You could go on C-SPAN or whatever and watch Congress functioning. We should have something similar to that,
Hmm.
where the members of the union can see us in live, you know, looking at the different issues, debating the different things, and you know that kind of thing. That should be a transparent process to the membership. The minutes from our meetings need to be posted on the website. You know, here's what was discussed. Here's what decisions we made. I mean, these things shouldn't be secret. So, um, you know, I don't know how you gauge it. I think the main way you gauge it is by looking at participation in the union. One thing that's always been interesting to me is that, and we have a higher percent, I think, than APWU does, but there's so many people that we're open shop and they voluntarily join the union. And then the next step after they voluntarily join the union is they don't do shit with the union. They don't come to
Hmm.
meetings. They don't
Right.
participate in
Exactly.
events. And you're like, well, why did you join, right? So obviously there's some interest in the union, and that's why they joined. There's something there, but we're not doing a good enough job of cultivating that and bringing those people into the fold where they want to participate. So I think if you see more activity around the local unions, people coming out to events, people coming to meetings, when you have whatever, like you can even say national events and stuff like that. If you see more participation, I think that's how you gauge your success on something like that. That's my opinion.
Okay. I respect that because honestly, um, I know of a few stations and we do have some decent shop stewards and the camaraderie. There are some stations that have excellent camaraderie. They come together, they enjoy each other, they go bowling, they go to
Yeah.
the bar, they do movie nights, great.
Are they
But
going
then you
off the
have
clock or
others.
on the clock to the bar?
Well, I no picky English, papi. No. um,
It
but
depends on what year it is, right?
right, yeah, I don't
If
even
it's
gonna touch that.
1998, it was on the clock.
Yeah, but there are places like that, which means it can be done. So this is something that I'm gonna talk to my the people that are watching me. I know there's a lot of people that are in the comments that are saying, um, Mike Henry, Corey Walton, Renfro for the few of you that like Renfro. Um, and I like Corey as well, but he's not running for president. I just want y'all to realize that because there was an issue, obviously, with Renfro, and we have other people that are running for president now. I need you all to realize that there's one person that is available to hear you, to listen to you, because I've seen you talk to other carriers. I've seen Mike talk to other people. I've seen him make himself available. This is the only one that's running for president that wants to be a president for the people. It's one thing to stand in front of a podium and talk to a screen, but once you one on one and listening to the people and hearing the people's words, that should be something that you guys think about. So when you go over to his channel and you leave a comment, somebody may or may not respond. When you send them an email, hopefully somebody responds.
They
But just
better.
don't judge it because your mind is set. I don't want y'all to judge something because your mind is set on one thing. Man, I like that Lexus. I don't care. That's the Lexus that I like. Sometimes you get a little more benefit on something that you're not looking at than what's staring you in the face. Um, you need to make sure that whatever questions you have, any concerns you have, are readily being answered. Whether
Yep.
it's ridiculous or not, I'm hoping Michael say that's a stupid ass question you asked me. But
Nope.
'cause some of them
No, I'm
ask some
not.
dumb
I'm not
questions.
at all, man. And we're doing the not to cut you off. I apologize for that, but we're doing that. So if you go on the website, you'll see the tour I'm doing. We're calling it the Kick the Tires tour.
Okay.
Come out and kick the tires, man. Ask your questions. Vet the candidate. And I would hope that anyone, not just me, but anyone who wants to be president of the union would do the same thing. Go out there, make yourself accessible and available to the members, answer any questions that they have. And so I'm not going to be able to go to every single city in the country, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go to as many of them as I can, and get out there and meet people, talk to them about what my plans are and strategies, and hear from them and answer any questions they have whatsoever. Any question whatsoever that they have. I've never dodged a question. I try not to even hesitate on a question because you deserve my answer. And it don't need to be scripted. That's my answer, and it might be what you want to hear, and it might not be what you want to hear. But you need to hear you need to hear the real answer because you have a decision to make as a member of the union who you want to be your president. What I owe to you is transparency. I owe availability, and for you to help you to make that decision by just being the person that I am and presenting what my ideas are, and then you figure out what you want to do from there. But anyone who's not willing to do that, you shouldn't vote for them. I just don't think you deserve that. At the very least, that's a minimum. I'm not saying that's a great thing, but that's at a bare minimum.
I want you to make a pledge to your people that you will never tell them a pretty lie, but you'll always tell the ugly truth.
Sometimes the truth is pretty, but if it's ugly, it's gonna be ugly.
It's a
That's just
serious thing.
what it is.
I'd rather hear the ugly truth than a pretty lie. Some people don't want to hear that because, it's all about feelings and people's feelings get hurt. Look, man, I tried. I did my best. I went to bat. I almost lost my goddamn job. I tried to go for $35 an hour. I was shooting for 35. They only offered us 28. I mean, any one of y'all want to come? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Here's
let
where
it
we're
be
at.
known. Say this is the ugly truth. Or, hey man, management is the one that screwed us. No, you know what I'm saying? Don't sit there and throw it back at somebody else. Just the ugly truth is always better than the pretty lie because people give us, I mean, it's a New York thing, a Chicago thing. They give you respect. I mean, you're a little more brash. We're brash, but I'd rather be brash than have people, think that I'm a fraud or a fake.
Right.
So that's kind of where, the members are. These younger generations are going to be the ones that throw their vote out for you. And they have to feel like their voice is being heard. Um, we coming up on, I guess it'll be 9:30 your time. I'm not gonna keep you from your family on a Friday night. It's 9:20. I'm gonna give about 12 more minutes. Please, in closing, say whatever you need to say uninterrupted. Get your message out, Mr. Caref.
Damn, 12 minutes. That's a lot of practice. So I was
Spit your game, brother.
I don't know how many. So the next stop on the tour is going to be in Minneapolis. It's going to be on the 28th of January, and actually, it's ironic because the ballots for the referendum on the tentative agreement, the ballots are due no later than the 27th of January in Minneapolis as well. And
Mm,
Branch 9, Minneapolis, is hosting kind of like a candidates forum. It's their regular meeting, but they've invited any candidate who's interested. I'm going to be there. Brother James Henry is going to be there. My understanding is they extended an invitation to President Renfro, and they haven't heard back from him yet in
damn.
classic fashion or whatever. But
Mm,
we'll be there at the same time. They're going to be counting the ballots starting on that Monday morning, January 27th. So the balloting committee will be out there in Minneapolis. There's a regional office of the NELC out there in Minneapolis. Branch 9 is out there, Branch 28, St. Paul. There's another branch in the suburbs of Minneapolis. And the NELC is conducting local branch officer training in Minneapolis as well at the same time. So anyone who's going to be in Minneapolis, hopefully you'll be able to come out to that Branch 9 meeting on that Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I'm going to try to get out there about 6 o'clock, to start running up the bar tab on behalf of my brothers and sisters. Do a little meet and greet. And then I think Brother Henry and myself will have maybe 10 or 15 minutes to speak. And then because it's still their meeting, but afterwards I'll stick around. James will probably stick around as well, that kind of thing. We want to make sure that we're accessible to the members and, give you guys a flavor. So that'll be cool. The roast is that following Sunday, February the 2nd. By then, we should have the results of the tentative agreement. And
oof.
so, listen, on the tentative agreement, we don't know what the result is going to be, but the vibe and what a lot of people are saying is that we're going to vote this thing down. I hope that's the outcome because I think we can do better. And assuming that is the outcome, the next step is going to be how do we make sure that President Renfro knows, because he's still going to be the president and he's still going to be over the collective bargaining process. How does President Renfro know what we want to get out of this contract? So the next thing we're working on in the campaign is to put out information so that I don't want to say exactly what it is because we haven't finalized the plans yet, but it's going to be some way where the members themselves, each individual member and the branches can communicate to President Renfro in real time and say, here's the things that I want you to fight for, and here's the things we want to try to get out of these arbitration hearings that will take place if we vote this contract down. And then,
Oh, wait, I want to interrupt you. So just to
yep,
be clear, if it gets voted down, the next step is what?
two things. One, to present what our demands are for a contract, or what are our desires. And what we're thinking
How
about
long?
doing, like I said, we haven't finalized it, but we're going to give you some options of things that may be important to you, and you'll be able to rank them, and you'll be able to say, these are the things that are important to me, you know, that kind of thing. Just so, because, you know, President Renfro, to me, is, you know, and I'm not trying to take a shot, but I think he's a little bit out of touch with the members of the
Oblivious?
union, you know, because he thought that this tentative agreement was going to be acceptable to the members, and maybe it will be. If it is acceptable to the members and we ratify the contract, then, you know, then there's no need for step, you know, 2 and 3, right? That's the will of the members, and that's what we get. But if the members do vote this thing down, like I think we're going to, and I think we should, if it does, then the next step is to make sure that he knows what we need him to fight for. Because, like I say, he thought that this tentative agreement was sufficient, and if we deem it not to be sufficient, then we need to tell him, here's what we would, you know, would be acceptable to us out of a contract. That's one. The second thing is,
How long do y'all have after it's voted down?
dude, a lot of people ask that question, and there's no set time frame. If I was the president, I would be setting up those arbitration dates right now, but they haven't done that yet.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah, they haven't done that. You know, we were
I
told
thought
in
it was 14 days. I
no,
thought they
so
had.
there's 15 days. What it says is that they reopen negotiations for a period of 15 days, and then after the 15 days are over, the president can basically take us out on strike or take us to arbitration, which we already know
Right.
he's going to take us to arbitration, which is fine. You know, that's what the process is. So we know after the 15 days, then we're going to go to arbitration. But at that time, now you got to solicit dates from the arbitrator because you haven't done that already. I would have already solicited the dates and had him block out his calendar. They told us that they selected this neutral arbitrator, Dennis Nolan. They selected him a full year ago in
I
January of
remember that.
2023. So if you selected this arbitrator already, you should have already been communicating with him and saying, okay, what's your calendar looking like? Because if they vote this thing down, look, a lot of my members are saying they're going to vote no. You know, if I'm the president, I would have to be honest and say, you know, I thought I did a good job, but a lot of my members are saying they're going to vote this thing down. Let's be prepared, and let's make sure that we get this thing to arbitration as soon as possible. And I think that's one of the things we need to make sure it's very clear to our president. You need to move this thing along, man. This thing has taken way too long. You've allowed the Postal Service to hold on to our money, our raises, our back pay, interest on our back pay. You know, you're letting the Postal Service just keep all of our money, and we need you to really move this thing along. It should have been done May 20th of 2023. So that's another thing that we're going to have to do. But just organizing that in a way that the members of the union can step forward and be a part of that is going to be important. So we're going to do that. And then the second thing, I'm
The
looking at
ugly
having
truth.
a national day of action. And I want to get APW involved in that because you guys still don't have a contract, correct?
Yeah, but we going for, was it October? So we had November, December. We're we're about 10 weeks in,
Well, the
but
day of action would be for everyone. You know, different unions want to support us, and what we're looking for, we want a post office that serves the American people. We want a post office that is faster, not slower. We want a post office where you have, you know, the letter carriers and the people out there serving the community as a service to the American people. And we want a job on our end that pays us a decent middle class pay and treats us with dignity and respect in the workplace. And so that's what I think we want to have a day of action and mobilization around. And the idea I have is to march and have rallies in different cities wherever people are available. But we have one in Washington, D.C., and we go from NELC headquarters, 100 Indiana Avenue, to USPS headquarters in LaFleur Plaza. And guess what the distance is between NELC headquarters and USPS headquarters?
1.3%.
1.3 miles.
Boom.
It's exactly 1.3 miles. And that's wild, man. So we have to put that together maybe for a Sunday or something like that. So anyway, that's just some of the things in the works. But the first thing is Minneapolis, January 28th. Then the roast on February 2nd. I hope everyone can participate. Look, if I want to have a legitimate campaign for president of the union, I'm going to have to raise a significant amount of money. So this is kind of a test to see if you guys, you want in on this. If you like what I'm saying and you want me to go forward, we're not asking for a lot of money. $20.26, to get in on the roast on the live stream. It's not a lot of money. Hopefully, I know times are tough for everybody, but if you can, we're going to try to put on a great product for you. It's going to be hilarious, hopefully. But it'll be a donation to the campaign. So anyway, man, that's what's coming up, baby. Was that 12 minutes? I don't know.
Hey man, I'm giving you your time, brother. This is your world. It's your world. I really wanted to get the message out. And I put the invite out there to Renfro, obviously, before somebody did. And, he said he'll think about it. That was, I think, 3-4 months ago. It is what it is. Transparency with the union is obviously A1. That was the ugly truth. It's going to take some time with that arbitrator. Uh, Obviously, you said it's about 15 days before he picks an arbitrator, or they decide whether or not they go to arbitration, and then they have to select a date, and the date could be at any given time. Is that correct?
Well, and I don't think we're locked into Dennis Nolan. I mean, they normally when you say I selected an arbitrator or the parties have agreed on an arbitrator, that means that you went to that person and you had them look at their calendar and you said okay, because I don't think you would, at least I wouldn't. I wouldn't select an arbitrator who wasn't available. So before I agree to that selection of that arbitrator, I would make sure that they're available and, sooner rather than later. So because that selection was made so long ago, if they do the 15 days, if we vote it down and then they do the
Mm-hmm.
15 days of negotiations and that doesn't go anywhere, then you say, okay, now we're going to go to arbitration. Do you have to go back to that same arbitrator, Dennis Nolan? What if Dennis Nolan's not available? What if Dennis Nolan says the first day I have available is not until the summertime? I would think at that point you could say, well, that's okay. We're going to get an arbitrator that's available. I don't know. But I don't know what the negotiations have been or what the agreement has been between our union and the Postal Service. So I couldn't speak on that. But assuming there's not an agreement, a contract or whatever, then maybe they'll pick another arbitrator or if not, then they'll go back to the same arbitrator and then they'll solicit dates and that kind of thing. Most arbitrators, they're doing their calendar about 3 months, 4 months into the future. So you start soliciting dates in February, you're probably not going to get dates until May, June. They're probably going to need 2 or 3 months to do all the hearings because you're going to have different dates and that kind of thing. So, and then there is no time frame, defined time frame for the arbitrator to give you a result. So we're looking at in the fall, probably before we would get an actual arbitration decision. But like I said, we need to move this thing along as much as we can. And that means making sure that the arbitrator is going to be available, as soon as possible. They should be working on that right now, but I don't think they are, but they should be.
Did you say fall? We talking about damn near October?
Yeah.
September, October?
Unfortunately, that's what it's looking like. And I mean,
This is the
that's
time you
horrible.
tell me a pretty lie.
I wish I could, man.
Oh,
I wish I
man.
could.
I used to say this on my channel just to give them a heads up and say, hey, it doesn't even matter. If you guys do this, you're not going to see your money until, even if you vote yes, you won't start seeing your money till damn near the end of June, July, August. Now, if this gets voted down, you're not going to start seeing your money till you're back. If it goes through,
I bet you back pay won't be until 2026.
boom.
But you know what? One thing that we would be able to insist on if we go to arbitration is interest on that back pay. There's no legitimate reason why the post office should be able to hold on to that money without paying us interest at the federal judgment rate for that money. It's in the Elm 436. Interest on back pay is in the when there's a settlement within the postal service is in there, and I think that's something we can get. So we got to wait a little bit longer, but I think we'll end up with more money.
Damn it. You don't even realize somebody just pointed this out to me. I had a different title before we had the issue a few minutes ago for this video. Somebody just pointed out that my title is the last title that I had from my last video. Oh man, they don't even have your name up there, brother.
The one from yesterday.
No, from
Before.
President Cruz. Oh, I gotta change this now. I am so sorry. Thanks somebody for bringing that to my attention. I had a different title all set up. Oh, jeez. Well, kind of late now.
Hey, it's the imperfect science, man.
That's why my son's supposed to be here. Uh, on. Jeez. I had it. I don't know what happened. Slap me silly and call me Uncle Tom. Boom. I hope this freaking thumbnail's still there. I don't know what happened. Well, I appreciate whoever told me about that. Damn. Oof. So you're saying, and I used to tell them that, see, they even got the wrong, it even got the wrong thumbnail. I had a nice thumbnail set up for you. Oof.
Put the flyer for the roast. That's a
Oh,
good thumbnail.
I just changed everything. Son of a biscuit. Thank you for telling me that after they tell me after 2 hours into it. Yeah, I used to tell everybody that y'all gonna see money late into the year. Everybody wants to just vote yes. And now you're saying, shit, 2026. There's gonna be a lot of people vexed about this. They said, let's get it done just so we can get our back pay.
Yeah,
Shit.
I
You'll see
just
Christmas before you get your back pay.
we're just not in a good position due to the fact that this thing drew on. And I don't know if you're aware, but me and a bunch of other letter carriers, we brought President Renfro up on charges. I think there's about 4,000 or more of us that signed on to the charges. But the charge is that he was negligent in dragging this whole negotiation thing on for so long, and it's harmed us. No matter what we do at this point, the harm has been done, and it's gonna be a while, no matter what. But we just have to fight for what we deserve, and let the chips fall where they may at this point, and get us a new president in 2026.
Somebody says they want the ugly truth. Did Renfro use union dues for his escapades? Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Not that I'm aware of, but any member can bring forth charges, and if you bring forth charges, you get an investigation, and we find out what happened in any different scenario. But I mean, I don't have any knowledge of that. But if you do or someone else does, then they should bring that forward.
We talking about when he got caught up down there and arrested in the company vehicle.
Well, I don't know what that person's referring to, because there's been a couple of, I guess, what you could describe as escapades, but you know,
And gambling and all that other stuff.
I didn't hear about no gambling, but
Wasn't he at a casino, caught up with the casino and the drinking and the driving and all that?
I don't
No?
know. Like I said, I didn't hear that one, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I know people send these things to me behind the scenes, but all right. We'll take that for what it's worth. But we're gonna end this out right quick. Listen, he said he went to Louisiana and stayed in a fancy hotel while in company vehicle. That's y'all dime. I want y'all to make sure that you check out Mike Caref, 50th birthday. We only hit 50 once. Obviously, y'all will get the chance to be up close and personal with him and just talk to him. I like the fact that, he sent me text messages. Uh, I have other union shop stewards and president of local unions in there. Nobody that's running for president in my chat group, but I like the fact that you're accessible. I don't bother you much, but this is what they want. They want somebody that's going to be there for them, at least making them feel like they're not forgotten. And this is obviously your opportunity, brother.
Yeah, every member of the union deserves that, man, and I'm happy to do my little part in it, man. And I appreciate you having me on and throwing out the tough questions. I love that. I love that, man. And you don't tell me ahead of time, I'm going to ask you this or ask you that, because that's not the way it should be. Just ask
Right.
the questions and get the answers. So I appreciate you, man. We'll definitely stay in touch. If you need me to come back on at any point, or if people have questions or they want to access me, they want access to that forum to ask questions. By all means, that's the plan. And in all of 2025, we're at this stage of the campaign where it's like, I'm going to be available to the members of the union so they can figure out if they want me to be their president in 2026 or not. That's my job this year, this whole 12 months of 2025. That's my New Year's resolution. Make myself available to the members of the NELC. So I appreciate
Okay.
you, brother, for helping out doing that
One more
tonight.
time. One more time with your email for them.
The email is Caref for Prez, CAREF for PREZ dot Caref for Prez at Gmail. So the website is careforprez.org. YouTube is Caref for Prez. That's the YouTube channel. The email address is careforprez at Gmail. Facebook is Caref for Prez. Everything is Caref for Prez.
Okay. And you're not gonna turn your comments off, right?
Nope. Haven't done it
All right.
yet. There's been a
All
couple of
right.
interesting ones, and I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna let that ride.
Okay. Cool. Brother, enjoy your family. Try to stay warm where you're located. It's
Oh,
freezing where I'm at as
we got
well.
heat. We got heat.
Okay. It's freezing where I'm at as well. Now I'm lying. But yeah. So we'll chat, brother, man. We'll chat.
All right, my man. Have a good night, brother. Thanks.
All right. You as well. Boom, boom, boom. Doop.
What do I do? Do I turn it off?
Yeah, you just exit out.
Exit out. Okay.
All right. Postal family, what's popping? We still in here. I'm gonna take this stupid background off. See how that worked? The magic. Virtual backgrounds. This stuff is silly. Boop. How y'all doing, Postal family? Listen, Salty Silver, I apologize about them damn ads. I don't know how to turn those things off. The moment that I go live for some reason, 2025, these ads are ridiculous. I don't know nothing about that, but I appreciate you guys stopping by, listening to Caref talk. He's a good guy. Um, I tried to ask the questions that y'all needed to hear as well. So when you guys get a chance, just go over to his channel, talk to him, talk to him. Even if you're not gonna vote for him, just talk to him. You see how I got basic information for you guys? And that's obviously not the information you want to hear, but it's realistic. It sucks. He's saying that you're probably not even going to see back pay till 2026. It is what it is. Hey, Chooch, why you didn't tell me that I had the wrong name up there? I set up the live stream and I guess I didn't click save and it had the last live stream up there, but you could tell this is real, you know. Um, Sometimes it's best to be just like Island just said. Let me read this correctly. She said she likes the lone wolf and he's not a follower. Sometimes you need somebody that's not going to just, be complacent and fall into, what everybody else wants. You want a bulldog. You want somebody that is willing to change your culture. And he's available. Man said he available. So with that being said, Postal family, I got to go. He kind of wanted to get his message out, and I wanted you guys to hear that. All right, love you. I apologize to Silty Salty. Wait a minute, where you at? Silver Stacker, and I believe Will with all the ads. Again, I don't know what's going on with this new year. All of a sudden, these ads have gotten ridiculous. I didn't change none of my settings, so again, I apologize for that. There's no way to really moderate your ads on live, but y'all be easy. Y'all be good. This is JH, and I'm out.